Good afternoon everybody and welcome to Feel Better Eating. This is a whole food, plant-based experience that has the intention of educating you about the health benefits of eating a plant-based diet, inspiring you to try new foods and having a good old time. My name is Joshua, this is my wonderful wife and co-host Catherine, and today as always we have an absolute banger of a recipe. It's going to be high in protein, high in good fats, it's going to be satiating and most importantly, tasty. And it also builds on a key theme of this show, that is eating healthy desserts, sweet treats doesn't have to be something that has negative health impacts. In fact, if you choose the right ingredients and the right preparation methodology, they can be superfoods. So even though this is going to be a sweet treat, it's going to be real good for us and help us feel better eating. Catherine, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Joshua. So today, as he implied, we're making a sweet treat. It's going to be layering of chocolate mousse, cashew cream, and strawberries to make what we call a parfait. So parfait, once I hear it, I'm like, I'm immediately interested in the history and what it all means. So we're going to get into that later in the show. Are you guys familiar with parfaits?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Yeah, they're very common at restaurants. And we'll get into the different types of parfaits as well in the show. But today, as Joshua implied, this recipe for the parfait is high in fat, it's high in protein, it's high in enzymes, and it's just going to be super delicious. So I'm excited to share it with you.
Right, let's get into it. We're going to start off with the avocado chocolate mousse.
Yes.
And we're going to start off with avocados.
Shocker.
And why are we including avocados, Catherine?
Avocados. I was introduced to this avocado pudding not even a year ago. Our friend made it for us, the predecessor of the show, Dr. Karen Edwards, and I was just shocked at how delicious avocados could be in chocolatey form, to the point where you don't even know you're eating an avocado. So we're using that as the fat, creamy base, and we're going to show you how you can transform an avocado, which is usually associated with savory dishes, into a sweet treat.
And something that's very interesting about plant-based cooking is phenomena, idea, I'm not really sure how you categorize it, but it's called the doctrine of signatures, where these foods, the plants, if they represent a part of our body or specifically a part of the body, it usually indicates what it's good for. Mm-hmm. So if we open up this avocado, what does this look like to anybody? What does this, if you can imagine as a representation of our body, what does this look like? With this,
A seed.
a seed, yeah. And what's the human equivalent of a seed?
Women carry seeds, Robertson's
babies.
Yes, pregnancy.
And really interesting.
Female health.
Really interesting about avocados, they take on average 9 months to go from blossom to fruit. Just like a human baby. That's the average, obviously, just like humans, it's within a window. And these avocados are very high in folate, which is an essential nutrient for pregnant women. So it's pretty cool to see the crossover there. And you'll find this in lots of different foods. So if you keep your eye open, it's a really easy way to remember the health benefits of specific foods if it looks like a part of the body.
But if you're not trying to grow a baby or a woman with reproductive health, it's also good source of fiber, and like we said, anyone can benefit from folate, and it helps your brain health as well.
Yeah.
So digestion, brain, all good things.
All good
Kind of
things.
looks like a brain, the shell of it. And we
Does
talked
it look
about
like?
before how you can save all your avocado seeds and make avocado seed art.
What was the name of that woman again? Shout out to that woman.
Yeah. I did look her up.
We're using
afterwards.
6 avocados here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be
Make
scooping
sure we
these
get a
out.
lot going. You're doing great.
Do you want to start talking about the next thing while I finish this up?
Sure. So I think the next on the list is our trusty old dates, Medjool dates. They are rich in iron and natural sugar to a way that it won't peak your insulin levels in an unsatisfactory way. And they also help with digestion, and they taste like candy. They're so good.
Yeah.
And so they're a great way to add sweetness into recipes, but also structure. So it would be a nice goo that will combine the fat from our avocados into a moussey mixture.
Yeah.
So we'll put 1 cup of dates in. These ones are already pitted, so the seed is taken out of them. And some people have told me that you can make like a beverage out of the seeds of dates.
Yeah, allegedly. Though.
Allegedly, and
We
I just
nearly
tried
broke our
so
coffee
many
grinder.
ways. Yeah, plastic everywhere. It was just an explosion, and then. So I don't know. If you're feeling brave, you could go for it. But I don't know how they made that work. YouTube does that to me sometimes.
Right, I'm gonna get rid of this.
Got a bit messy over here, didn't
I
it?
did avocados. I'm just gonna wash my hands. Do you want to put them in the?
In the blender. Yes. So we're working with an absurd amount of avocados here, but if you're making this at home, well, I don't know, depending on who you're making it for.
Yeah, and how many people this recipe is scaled for our live audience here?
It's a good treat to make for parties, I think. I mean, most of our recipes are because they're good for sharing.
They are good for sure.
Large quantities. Right.
Right.
So that sturdiness needs
Yeah,
to
you
go.
can put that away. You can put that away. Next up, we've got cacao powder. We're probably going to need another one. This is
I
it.
put all of it in.
Oh, you put it all in that one. So what's this one here for? To juggle.
I didn't know what to do with that. I panicked.
We're adding cacao here for flavour. Obviously, this is a chocolate mousse. That's where the flavour's going to come from. And this is going to turn the avocados from these green to brown.
Mm-hmm.
So it will look like chocolate mousse.
It's going to disguise it. You won't even know.
But interesting about cacao, if you've ever eaten this and felt good after it, or felt like you've got more energy, it has something in it called theobromine, which is not too dissimilar from caffeine. It's definitely not the same, but it is a molecule that gives us energy. But unlike caffeine, it's a lot more stable. So after eating this, if you feel like you've got more energy, it's going to come from other parts of this, like the coconut and the avocados, but the theobromine will do that. So that's why a lot of people drink cacao beverages as a replacement for coffee, which is pretty cool.
And it's a healthy fat as well, so.
And we're going to go for 3 tablespoons of that.
Yeah, I'm just going to round up to 1/4 of a cup because now I'm seeing the amount of avocados in there. I'm just going to play it safe. And 3 tablespoons is practically just over, it's almost 1/4 of a cup.
Really? Is that true? I'd love to see the maths on that. I trust you.
You want to
Go for
try?
it. Nah, go for it.
Okay.
I trust you. But usually you don't do the ratios like that. You go, I don't know. That's
If we
very
need
good.
to add more, we'll add
Well
more
done.
because we need to make sure that it's a brown chocolatey
Yeah.
color.
We don't want avocado taste for Kim in the back.
Yeah,
Otherwise there'll be uproar.
This you can also use melted chocolate here. I've made this recipe with melted chocolate before and it's really good as well.
We're going to add vanilla extract into it next. This is for taste and it also has an antidepressant effect. It's really good for your mood.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, about vanilla, we can add extra. The agricultural process for vanilla is very labour intensive. That's why it's so expensive per pod. And it's because they have to hand pollinate every plant. Because the
imagine?
bees that are naturally good at doing vanilla aren't always on location where the vanilla is grown. So they go around with a toothpick with pollen and they pollinate every single flower to make it produce the pod, which is insane. But that's why it's so expensive.
That is insane. Can you imagine doing that? I mean, I guess it's beautiful. It's like because you are the
I don't
giver
know,
of life at that point.
I think after like 15 plants I'd be done with that. I'd be moving on.
It's
How
for
much
the
is this?
meticulous in nature.
2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons. It's teaspoons.
Teaspoons. That would have been.
Jeez.
We'd all be buzzing after that.
I was like, holy moly, hon, it's concentrated. It's a delicacy. We have to be delicate with it. Okay, so we're going to be adding coconut oil
Yep.
as well. My personal favorite is the unrefined coconut oils, but right now we have just this refined one, which will work fine. The oil. Oh, do you want to say
No,
something?
no. I was just kind of like pointing at it for effect.
Coconut oil. So the refined process is for people that don't like the taste and the aroma of coconut. So they just like somehow strip that out of it.
Another
through
step, yeah.
Refining it. So I don't know. But going on the fats that's in here, this is going to help make it a creamy mixture. And when you use the unrefined coconut oil, and when you put it in the fridge to set, if you want to keep it in the fridge to set, it'll help like it harden and
Yeah.
turn into a different consistency.
Also good for brain health.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, I thought that was the camera.
Oh, I was like,
We're going to put 2 tablespoons in there. or
someone's
3?
upset.
This will help with brain health too, so you'll feel good after this and probably alert. That with the theobromine.
I think it only needs 2.
Alright. I like the intuition you're showing here. Kate's big on intuition when she's cooking and looking.
Sometimes when you look at recipes and you're like, that just doesn't seem
Just doesn't
right.
feel right, does it?
Just follow your intuition.
Next up to add.
Well, you forgot the Midwest Golden
Can't forget that.
Nectar. So we add maple syrup as well for the sweetness because it does an extra job of masking that avocado taste, in my opinion, and adds just a bit more sweetness that sends it over
And
the
who
edge.
doesn't like maple syrup?
So
really?
how much did I say here?
We've got 3 tablespoons.
Oh.
3 of them. And obviously if you like it sweeter, I guess you could add more.
And you know what's fascinating about maple syrup? I don't know if anyone's ever read the back of the bottle of pure maple syrup, but the
Toilet
this only
reading.
says 2 tablespoons. I've heard that you can eat a fourth of a cup in a day.
Well, I don't live my life by
I know,
labels.
that's what I was saying, but I was hoping it was going to say a fourth of a cup. Because
Labels
I'm pretty
won't
sure
control
that's what
me.
it says. No, they don't.
And we're going for not at all. Intuition. We're going to be adding a plant-based milk of choice. This is almond milk, but you can use oat, cashew, all the trillion different ones. Coconut, if you like more coconut. And this is going to help with the texture, consistency.
Yeah, so we're just, it says 3+ on the recipe because we're going to add 3 and then see if we need to add more based on how moussey it turns out.
Yeah.
It's probably going to need more now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah?
We'll see in a minute, but
You can't go back, can you?
no.
Can't take it out. It's like woodwork.
But it's definitely going to be an interesting blend. Okay,
Right.
so let's watch as the
Blend this up.
avocados turn brown. We're going to need a rubber spatula as well, but...
I
Alright,
didn't get the...
excuse us for a short blending break. Oh, you didn't get the thingy.
So we're going for a mousse consistency. If you haven't seen a mousse consistency before, it's neither thick nor thin. It's like right in between. It's mousse. It looks pretty... You can see the consistency though. It is moussey.
Alright, well don't lick things until...
I'm not gonna lick it.
You do, you lick things.
Only at the end. How is it?
It is sweet.
It's a mousse.
It still tastes a little bit like avocado though. So we can't have that for Kim, she'll freak out.
More syrup.
Yeah, I think it needs more maple syrup.
Really?
Yeah, you
Get it
try
in.
it.
No, I trust you. I have a limited feedback loop. I like most things. Just usually tastes good to me.
He's like, good. You don't even question it most of the time.
Definitely more maple syrup in there.
Told you.
Probably a bit more cocoa as well.
See, she knows. Intuition. Dun da da da. Get it in.
I quite like that with the avocado taste in there. It's pretty nice actually.
I think it adds like a different appeal, definitely. I mean, you can try this for yourselves and see which way you like it. Just kind
Well,
of shake it in
No,
because...
you don't like avocados.
Right.
Right, get that in there.
And then we'll, I mean, do we even need to like blend it or can we just stir it?
Definitely blend it. Let me take a
Alright,
second.
okay.
We're here now, aren't we? We're invested now in the blend.
We need to put it in a bowl now. We'll just scoop it out. Hope for the best.
So you can see the consistency if I do it with this. You can see that it's like a mousse.
It's like,
It's actually thick, boy, though. Alright.
do you want it to be thinner? Or you
No,
okay
no,
with
that's
that?
good. So do you want to
Oh,
move this, tidy up just as we go?
yeah.
Clean up one mess before you make another.
Oh, who taught you that?
Somebody.
I taught him that.
Right,
Okay, I'll scoop that.
scoop that in there.
So do you want to talk about parfaits while I scoop it in?
Sure, does anybody know where the word parfait comes from?
Any guesses?
Does it sound what language it sounds in?
French.
It is French. Do you know what it translates to in English?
Dairy Queen.
That's what I was thinking.
That's actually the alternative New Age translation. It is perfect. That's what it means in English. You're pretty close to the translation. Anybody know when it started? Parfaits?
No.
It's interesting because the history of parfait is similar to the history of a lot of desserts that we eat now, especially the French sounding desserts. Essentially, for a long time it was for royalty only because of the rarity of the sugar involved, and traditionally this was made with eggs, sugar, honey, very similar to the nougat. Do you remember when we made that? Two very similar recipes. But then in the late 1800s it just became more accessible for everybody to start eating this. And then parfait became what we know it. As the world started to get smaller, it spread. And as it got to America, the same theme that often happens on this cooking show, Americans had their way with it and turned it into, the French parfait is a single layer just like this with fruit on the top. and then as it came to America, it became the layered one. You know, you've seen in glass jars, and typically in the American fashion, those layers become very built up with ingredients that aren't necessarily good for your health. A lot of liquor is used in parfaits, a lot of processed sugar, and that's why when you usually eat one of these, you don't feel good. But this is going to be it.
Well, at least temporarily.
Temporarily.
Maybe. Don't feel good.
You might feel good when you're eating it, but not so much afterwards.
Wow, this is so much. I proportionally made way more avocado mousse.
Yeah. So if you're making this at home, it will last as well in the fridge, so you don't have to use 6 avocados. But are you going to smooth that out?
What do you mean? It doesn't need to. It's just smacked in there.
All right,
So we're just going to
great.
be distributing it into
Yep.
the... I just don't want to waste that much. Just feel like that's a waste if I can't get it out. I'm like very particular about how much I get out of the blender. But we're going to have to clean it to do the cashew cream.
Yeah. Do you want me to start cleaning
I
it?
guess let's just sacrifice it. I wish we could just pass it around and everyone just take a lick. So...
Or do you
That's a
want
lot of cashews.
Yeah, we won't need all of those.
Okay.
So we're making the cashew cream cheese now, as Kate said.
And these are pre-soaked cashews, so we asked them kindly to put them to soak a day beforehand or at least 8 hours beforehand. And you see how big they are. So when they're in the packaging, they're not as enlarged, but now that they've soaked up water, they're bigger.
And what's going to happen now that they're soaked? What's the benefit of doing that?
They're going to create a creamier texture when you blend it.
Yeah, and it also reduces phytic acid, which is the negative part of eating cashews. But these are really healthy for you. They've got a lot of amino acids in, a lot of good fats, and they're very satiating as well, so they can make you feel full. And we're going to do 2 cups of that, so there's definitely going to be leftovers in the cashew streaks. Maybe just add a little bit more in.
It looks so small once you add it to the blender. Okay, we're just
It
going to
is.
go for it. Whatever.
Really?
Well, we have so much avocado.
Well, we're in now, aren't we? In for a penny, in for a pound.
They're all soaked, so just gotta get them in. Did we run out of
that's good,
spoons
yeah.
already? I already
Like
like
the
this
raw
one.
cashews to soak.
Yeah, buy the raw ones and then soak them.
How did we like all of our spoons already? I got that other Rebel Special out. Can you grab that, please? It's right next to you. Thank you, darling. Oh,
All right. So to accompany cashews in this will be
dates. So that's what I love about this recipe is you don't have to think about each layer too much. It's like same thing repeated. So you have your base thing, which was your avocado in the last one. Now you've got cashews, which is your base layer here.
And from a stock in your kitchen point of view, if you look at this recipe 2 weeks ago, a lot of these recipes are all using very similar ingredients with just slight variations. So when you're buying them, you can buy them in bulk, never sulk,
No.
save money, and then they can make various different recipes from the same
these
recipes. I would get a different pack. They look good.
They look fine.
Are they pitted?
Dates don't go bad. I don't think they do.
I need to see some receipts on that.
It's fine. They're
Right,
fine.
what's that? 1 cup we're putting in there.
Yeah, about.
And then what works better with vanilla in the chocolate mousse?
Is even more vanilla because, like I said, I couldn't taste it, so we're gonna have to just keep it in now. I mean, the 2 tablespoon thing may not have been off.
We've got that in there, and then we're going to add more plant milk.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need more than 3 tablespoons.
What, like 4?
Oh god, just go until there's at least a little layer on. Okay. All right.
Give that a blend up.
That's gonna be thick.
Thick daddy.
All right, so you guys are gonna have to bear with it.
More blended. We're back. We're back. Get the black thing.
The thing, the moment that everyone loves.
Yeah. Here we go. So you can see the consistency here, it's thick.
Yeah.
And if you did this, if you didn't soak the cashews, it just wouldn't come out as thick or creamy. It would be more bitty.
I mean, this may be bitty a little bit.
I don't know. That
Because
looks
something that I forgot to do is you can also soak your dates ahead of time, and it will make your dates softer and they will blend easier. We think that's why the Vitamix didn't go as well the
It could
first
be
time
that,
because
yeah.
we put the dates at the bottom. So maybe just right away it got clogged with the dates.
Get
We have an
stuck.
absurd amount of,
Well, there's lots of people there.
yeah.
As long as you enjoy it.
Then you guys get seconds.
Maybe even thirds, really,
Yeah.
at this stage of the game.
I know, because there's only
How
those
long you
little
soak it
ones
for
in there.
days?
Minimum like an hour, really, but
Yeah,
4
makes
hours.
a big difference, yeah, soaking dates. And we never request that, we always forget that aspect, I'm not sure.
I know,
why.
because I requested to soak the cashews this time and not the dates.
So as you can see, most of this recipe, it's very straightforward. It's just sorting out the blender, cleaning it, putting it back in the blender. That looks great though.
Yeah. It's making me sweat, scooping all this out. It's quite the workout. Oof.
So you what, you're going to bang the strawberries straight
It's like a
in?
heavy carafe. That's what it's called, isn't it? Carafe.
It is a carafe. Not a giraffe.
You can use fresh strawberries into slices, as Joshua insinuated, but
You can use any fruit you want here as well.
yeah, definitely.
Blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, gooseberries, all them berries.
This should just blend like a cinch.
Yeah, if this doesn't go well, we've got issues. It's not us, it's the blender.
Yeah. I brought a large clear jar so we can see each layer going in.
Chocolate first, right? Yeah, it's got to be chocolate first. Ooh.
I'm just nervous to get it on the sides because I want it to be. Oh, there it goes on the side.
I think we need,
Immediately.
strawberries to top it as well.
All right. Oh, you had strawberries out the whole time.
The whole time, honey?
There's still more defrosted ones.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So cream.
Maybe a little more family.
And then, can you get, I'm sorry, honey, can you grab one more big spoon for the strawberry? Or I guess I could pour it at this point. It's just.
Just pour it, yeah. Probably want to do more than that, too.
What?
Alright.
You're layering it, honey.
Oh, you layer it up as you go?
Yeah. So I'm just afraid now the strawberry is just gonna get completely smashed by the chocolate. It's a learning idea. What, is it gonna get just completely smashed?
I don't know. We're going to find out, aren't we?
Oh!
We've got displacement happening. Just build on top. It's a leaky foundation, but we're going to get there. Yeah, now you can. You just
It needs a little bit more chocolate, just on the sides there, and then we'll top it with cashew.
Go on.
And then you can't even see it. No, that's not very
Displacement, honey.
The French. How are they doing this?
They're just using thicker strawberries, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
No one's sending that back though.
You sure? I would send it back. I was like, this does not look like a parfait.
I would ask for another one, and I would
I mean,
refuse
like-
to give it back because I know once you give it back, they have to.
I don't know how they make parfaits look so clean, but that looks like a mess in a jar. But
They already
we
said
tried our
it's-
best. And then you can feel free to garnish it with whatever you want. Like cocoa nibs. I'm gonna throw some cocoa nibs on top of it for a bit of a crunch.
Nice.
You could do coconut shreds. You could do
Dates,
pistachios.
cashews, celery.
See, the top looks the best.
Ah, look at that.
Should I just, what's the best
It
looking
looks
angle?
good.
What's
I
the
think
best
it looks
angle?
good.
You can tell.
That angle. This is the best angle.
Go around there.
Well, no, I think Kevin can see it from there. Can you see it, Kevin? Does it look bright? I mean, it just is what it is.
I think that
at
looks
this
great,
point.
honey. I think you're being hard on yourself.
Okay. All right.
If I drank that with a coffee, I'd be.
I mean,
very
that
happy.
look how much of a summer treat that looks like too. So that's very springy, very summery.
If you had a barbecue and that was served for dessert,
I would eat it.
guests would be.
They would
ecstatic.
be ecstatic.
They'd tell all their friends.
You're right, honey. You're so right.
Well, there we go. That is a plant-based parfait. This is going to be really satiating, very tasty. If somebody could eat the whole one of those, I'd be very impressed. That's a serious dish. There's a lot of calories in there.
Yeah, it is gonna
But
be
it's
very
packed
filling.
with so much goodness. It's going to make your heart, your head, your brain, your stomach, all parts of you feel great. We're excited to share it with the crowd here. Thank you all for being here with the patience of the Blender Escapades Volume 17. We love that, don't we?
Well, this is our 20th episode. So
So
thank you
17
everyone that's been here for all.
Thank you to
20 and
Kim
beyond, your support.
for
Thank
helping
you,
us
Kim, always.
throughout this journey, and
Yes.
good luck with your new venture.
Yeah.
And thank you to everybody watching. This recipe is available on our website, feelbetterliving.com. We hope it inspires you to go try it. If you're in the Michigan area for the next 2 weeks, we've got enough to share out. So come on down to the Grace Learning Centre and try it. But we appreciate you all being here. Thank you very much. Thank you for helping me present.
Thank you, honey.
See ya. Peace. Thank you to all of our show sponsors and supporters who make this show possible. The Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte, Grace Learning Centre, Citizens Concerned for the Homeless, and ALCO, Access LaPorte County. We appreciate all of your support.